Habaragani, Umoja. My name is Byron Johns, and I will be your host today. Welcome to 7 days of celebrating collectives during Kwanzaa. This collaboration is brought to you by A Place to Be, the nonprofit I have founded to serve as a venue to host forums. A Place to Be was a concept that was created in 1995 with a community of folks when I lived in New York City. Since then, I've held the vision and worked to bring forth a physical space for connection. But COVID has created the need and opportunity to do virtual programming. So this is the launch of the A Place to Be collective. During the 1990s, I wrote a Kwanzaa song, which was the impetus for this project that originally started with 7 choreographers creating their interpretations of the song, which emphasizes 7 days, 7 principles, 7 ways to maintain our nation. This fall, I participated in the Bloom Collective Leadership Program offered by my friend and colleague, Olubade Sean Brown, whose Bloom Collective will be hosting Ujamaa, the 4th day of Kwanzaa. That virtual international program inspired me to host this forum. Each of the 7 days will be different in format and content. Collectives from Ghana, London, South Africa, Atlanta, New York City, and Los Angeles will be featured. For each day of Kwanzaa, there will be a broadcast posted at midnight and a live talkback for you to dialogue with the guest at some point during the day. For this particular session, the live event will be at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. During this time of change that has highlighted the disparities in resources, this project is to inspire global collaboration and the recognition that we have what we need when in community with one another, distinct from the scarcity you might come to believe from the media. Finally, overall, the program is about sharing and plugging into a network of resources, services, and information. If you're interested in anything shared here and would like to connect or find out more, you can go to the aplacetobe.org, and that's the number 2, and click the Get in Touch button on the landing page. Today's program will feature a dance by South African choreographer Standile, an overview of the 90-day enhancement coaching program, and interviews with some of the men of the collective Prescencing Fatherhood. Also, an interview with 2 British gentlemen who have a course entitled Understanding Eldership, and another interview with 2 other people who will be facilitating a course A Place to Be is offering, centered around I've decided to live 120 years. First, there will be a brief presentation by Terron Edwards, a young father of 5 from Wisconsin who loves celebrating Kwanzaa with his family and has volunteered to do the candle lighting. So thank you again for checking us out. I hope you enjoy the offerings and that we get to engage someday together in A Place to Be activities. Again, enjoy.
Today during Kwanzaa, ceremonially, we light a new candle. You know, we start off with you know, the unity candle in the middle, you know, for Umoja. You know, we move out to the red Kujichigalia, and so on and so forth. You know, until the whole Kanara is lit up. You know, when you have your house, you know, dark, it's actually a beautiful sight, you know, to do with your family there. Speaking of families, I also have here, you know, representing the harvest. I have a basket. I actually have, you know, African cloth that's actually from Tanzania, and in the basket representing both the harvest and the children in our house. You know, we just have some fruit here. You know, you can use fruit. You know, some people use corn, but just representing the first harvest. You know, I actually have 2 apples here. You know, representing our girls here, and you know, orange representing, you know, our little boy TJ. So yeah. So what I like to do is just get into the ceremony. So we do it like this every day. Barigani. today is the first day of Kwanzaa. So yes, the proper answer would be Umoja. Umoja, means unity. So it's basically, us being, as Black people, being unified, to strive and maintain our communities, our businesses, our families, etc. Unity is what we need to get through. So on the first day of Kwanzaa, we celebrate Umoja, which is unity. And we celebrate unity by lighting the middle candle, which is the unity candle. So on the first day of Kwanzaa, since today is the first day of Kwanzaa, we're going to light our unity candle for Umoja. And as I light the candle here in our Kanara, you can say it with me. Umoja. So may the principles of Kwanzaa reign true, not just through the 7 days, but all 365 days of our year.
We are here with Standile, and he is the choreographer for A Place to Be's first Umoja Day. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
So why don't you, first I have to say that your work was so inspiring to me. I really appreciate the effort that you put into it to create all the different scenes, that you took the theme seriously, and I think it's a great contribution. And I would love to see people check in to watch the dance every year, you know, because I think it's just really spectacular. And given that it's a cross-cultural, because Kwanzaa is an African-American holiday, I think that's pretty magnificent. So we're going to get to talk about the work a little bit. First, I just want to talk about you. And if you can just tell us your full name. I didn't want to mess it up, you know, wanted to honor you in that way, as well as about your work. And yeah, just tell us about your work and your background.
Okay. So my name is Sandile Kubonga Majola, aka stage name is Stanza. About, say, give or take 10 years now, when I was 16, which is quite late, but at the same time, I just fell in love with it, and it's just been a journey for me since then. I started out as a crump dancer. So,
oh, wow.
Then, yeah. So along the way, I started just meeting like other dancers and stuff like that there, and just getting what's the word? How can I put it? Just to spend time with other dancers, he has opened up my world in terms of dancing. And that's how I started venturing out into other styles and just growing as a dancer and as a person. And along the way, I fell in love with making music. So I also make music as well. I produce music, mix and master as well. So just in terms of art, I think that in my creativity is just very broad. So I love a lot of what's the word? It's always so hard to speak about yourself, but I hope I'm doing a good job. But yeah, so yeah.
I think you're doing a great job, and I think it's just inspiring to us to hear your passion about the work you do, and you seem to exude joy when you talk about it, like it's something that's still fresh and fascinating for you. So what was it like to do the work with the Kwanzaa song, and what was your inspiration? I know you said you did some research, and what's the message that you wanted to communicate in regards to Umoja and how you connected with all of that?
So with the Kwanzaa piece, it always starts off with the music. And once I heard the song for like 2 days, I just played over and over and over and over until I just fell in love with the groove. Because when I first heard it, it just sounded so different, and I didn't know, I had no idea where to start or something like that there. But as I listened to it over and over and over, and I got like the feeling of it and how angelic it is and how almost free and open it is. So that's what inspired the piece, for it to be free flowing and very easy to do, as if like the moves are very simple, and that was very intentional, like keeping the moves very simple throughout the way, because I felt like if it's something that is celebrated by everybody, then somebody can watch it and learn the moves and do it as well. So that's what like carried the piece through.
When you say it was very different, what do you mean by that?
How can I say? Because I listen to a lot of R&B and hip hop music, like almost 90% of the time, and I'm never really like super tuned into like the local sounds, even though I am, because I produce music, but that's not the thing that like gives me that passion and desire. So when I heard that, I really had to fall in love with it first, because the drums are like almost everywhere. And there is a lot of patterns, and the instruments are just almost like, hey, how can I say it? It's like stars, you know, and it's everywhere. And then it's the vocal, that is the glue, and the vocal is very angelic throughout the way, and that's what I try to stick to. And with the help of Leash, we were able to just bring that alive, to stick to the vocal, and at the same time embrace the instrumentals, but we embraced it in such a way that we use the costumes to bring out the instrumentals.
Yeah, it's been, the work is such an inspiration, and I look forward to more. We are here with Glenn Greenidge, my partner in crime, and Glenn and I have known each other since the late 80s and developed a real bond, and have been created the People of African Descent Empowerment Group in New York, which created a circle, or our Black community within Landmark Education. And we also created the 90-Day Enhancement, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So the 90-Day Enhancement is a coaching program, and well, actually it's going to be a variety of programs, but it started out as a coaching program. So welcome, Glenn.
Thank you. Thank you. Great to be here.
Yes. So why don't you tell folks a little bit about your background and the work that you do, the span of, you know, your corporate career as well as your community work.
Yeah. So, wow. My corporate work has been basically computer data processing. So I've got about 25 years of various customer support and technical support for those 25 years, and worked at United Airlines, Xerox, you know, the big name companies, and as well as done some consulting. And then I shifted to what I'm doing now, which is economic development and community empowerment. And I'm currently the executive director of Sutton Boulevard Business Improvement District here in Southeast Queens, Jamaica, New York. And I get to support small businesses and promote, advertise, and be their advocate. So that's what I do now.
Well, I think we left out a piece, and I just want to add two pieces. One is that Glenn has talked about his community, you know, over these years that I've known him, these 30 some years, that like he really has a commitment to Jamaica, Queens, and he just got into this job within the last, I guess, 10 years, you know, right after we started the 90-Day Enhancement program. And it's just, you know, he's committed to that community and making a difference there. We are here to talk about the 90-Day Enhancement, our transformational program. So let me just pull up what it is and read off the slides. This is an old flyer. We are in the process of redoing our website. We recently incorporated the 90-Day as an LLC, and I see this typo in this flyer here too, which I'm a little ashamed of up there, intensive, but ignore that, it's an old flyer. So 90-Day is about, the 90-Day Enhancement is a coaching program that provides a structure for accelerating project development and achievement through a 1-hour weekly call, and now is a Zoom call, coursework, and a team of partners to support you in translating your ideas into tangible results. Participants select 1 to 3 projects to move from concept into high momentum during the 90 days. We like to say it's preparation, productivity, and achievement. Preparation, you create a solid action plan. You implement that plan. That's the productive part, getting into action. And the achievement part is enjoying the satisfaction of getting the results that you want, which is where the transformation occurs. So if you have a great vision or project and ready to go to the next level, check us out at the 90-Day Enhancement. So what else do you want to say about 90-Day Enhancement or anything, Glenn? And I think we're pretty much complete.
Well, you know, the thing I just want to say, and you said it already, is it's enlightening to see people transformed at the end of their projects, and for us to be part of that process, to have a structure in place that sets that up and makes that happen is gratifying. It was gratifying for us to go through the process itself and then to see others. And basically, the bottom line is that we were designed this for our community to support businesses and projects in our community. However, it certainly can be expanded to anywhere and everywhere in the world.
Yeah, and the great thing too is that it could be, you could have a household project you want to work on, a personal project, or it could be executive coaching, whatever. The structure is such that it just keeps you focused. We have these weekly engagements, which, sometimes we have like a New Year's resolution where we get all excited in the beginning of the year, we're going to do this. The problem is that we don't set by-wins and we have no support of structure. So come March, it has disappeared and we forgot we even made the resolution. But the 90-day keeps you engaged and helps you to build something from nothing, or to move that project that you've been moving, because you get to engage with others. You could do it in a group, or you could do it in a group up to 6, or you could do it alone. And we've worked with all sorts of folks and have gotten results every time. There is a 90-day enhancement website, so you can go to 90dayenhancement.com and you can register for the program. The one thing that we offer is an introduction to the program. It doesn't cost anything. And we promise that you'll get value. You will see where you are with your project leaving that conversation. And you don't have to commit to doing the program, but we'd love to do an introduction with you. So 90dayenhancement.com. Again, thank you, my brother. Thank you for all the years of support. Greatly appreciate you. Love you much.
You're very welcome, my brother. It's been a pleasure being in partnership with you.
Have a great one.
Peace and blessings.
Okay, our next guests are part of a collective that I participate in with men from across the country who are committed to providing support and services for men. The ultimate vision is to create an international network of resources for men. Each one of the gentlemen have worked in the community and with an organization or business, and the group has come together to contribute to creating the network. Prescencing Fatherhood is a group of men from various service organizations across the country who come together, as I said, to provide resources for men in support of men being healthy, positive relationships with their children and families. The mission of the group is to highlight the importance of the parenting process on the development of children and families, and support the deepening of fathers' presence in Black family life, bringing Black fathers and mothers together for the purpose of enriching the lives of children. Habaragani, gentlemen.
Umoja.
Umoja.
Great. Thank you for joining 7 days of celebrating collectives during Kwanzaa. As you know, today is Umoja, as you just stated, which means unity, to strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. I wanted to highlight this initiative because it is aligned with the Umoja principle. Now let's hear from you guys. Please introduce yourselves, tell us your name, your location, and a little bit about the work you do and the organization or business with which you are affiliated, and what the opportunity has been for you participating in Prescencing Fatherhood. So how about you go first, Bill Davis?
Thank you, Byron. My name is Bill Davis. I am an employee at the Father Center of New Jersey. I've been doing fatherhood work for about 15 years now. The Father Center of New Jersey happens to be the oldest nonprofit in the state of New Jersey. We've been around about 170 years, and we've been doing fatherhood work for about 30 years. I chose this position here because I saw the need for improving the relationship of Black fathers with their children. Actually, not just Black fathers, but all fathers with their children. And I saw this as a great vehicle for accomplishing that. there's a need for the presence of fatherhood in our children's lives. So when I saw the opportunity through Mr. Charles Robinson, who introduced me to the rest of the group, to have a national network, and in fact, maybe even an international network of fathers, role models, father figures who want to improve the lives of children by bringing the presence of fathers into their life, I was really enthusiastic about that. And so I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to join this discussion. Thank you.
Great, thanks. So we're going to have our fearless leader, Charles Robinson, who's the person who brought us all together, introduce themselves. Take it away, Charles.
Hi, my name is Charles Robinson. I live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and our state has the notoriety of incarcerating more Black men than any other state in the country, and we have a lot of the unintended consequences of incarceration as well, which has an impact on the family. And over the years, I've gotten in touch with my life purpose, and my life purpose is involves healing, peacemaking, and collaboration. And over the years, I've developed my skills, and I've had a lot of experience in working in the court system. I'm a part-time adjunct professor and also a mediator, and I have with a background of law. And I've worked in the community. I created a nonprofit organization called the Kalahari Peace Institute, which is based on the Kalahari, the Sand people who live on the Kalahari, who have no history of war. And when I learned about them, I studied them, and now I'm looking to see how can we bring those principles to our community so that we could have peace, healing, and collaboration. And I'm running in the lane of father presence, because when we look at when fathers are present, the research shows that it's a win-win situation all the way around. And so that's when I reached out to brothers who I knew were already involved and already committed. And I'm so happy to be able to work with them.
Great, thank you, Charles. And maybe we should go to Glenn Greenidge.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Glenn Greenidge. I am the executive director for Sutphin Boulevard Business Improvement District here in Southeast Queens, in Jamaica, Queens. And I'm a facilitator for the International Black Summit, and I work with the youth there. And when I heard about this fatherhood program, the fatherhood presence, I was elated, because I'm clear that having fathers present in their children's lives are an important piece of our heritage, our history, and our family orientation. And so to be part of this conversation, I'm excited. And the vision I have is that we can work with fathers all over the world who have this issue and are able to bridge the gap and make the place a pleasanter place for everybody. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Mr. Greenidge. And how about Mr. Edwards, Mr. Terron Edwards, who you probably saw earlier doing the Kinara for our Kwanzaa. Take it away, Terron.
Right, all right. Thank you for having me, Byron. A pleasure to be here.
Thank you for being here.
And of course, anytime, I'm Kwojo Terron Edwards. I am the founder and executive president of Fathers Making Progress, where we believe in real dads doing our best to be our best. It's a nonprofit organization that was incorporated about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, but the movement itself is much older than that. It's actually a self-made movement that was actually founded by fathers, for fathers. I am also here in the city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Brother Charles just talked, so eloquently about the some of the disparities. In top of the incarceration, we also have some of the worst infant health disparities for Black babies, in the country, and many others, that affect our community and community that we work in. So as far as why fatherhood and why this work is so important to me, I've been doing it for over 15 years, and honestly, without taking up too much time, I could just say that it starts with me, and I'm just really just started with me, just trying to be the change that I want to see. I was once actually a part of the problem, and now, I operate as, the solution for myself and the solution for others, and we create these spaces of wellness and healing and growth and leadership spaces out of it. Basically, a lot of our programs are, training fathers to not only benefit from the work, but do some of the work themselves in their own communities, because that's what it's going to take. And, it's funny, since it's Umoja and unity, and we're talking about, what it takes. Another reason I'm here at the table, we talk about fathers prescencing. Man, like I said, I've done the work for 15 years, and as a part of that, I've had the opportunity to be a part of like different demonstrations and different projects and different research projects. And one of the things, Dr. Ron Messi in Columbia did this study one time. I was actually able to be out there when they revealed the findings from the study, and I was so excited, because I've been a part of these fatherhood programs for so long, and I'm like, oh man, it's going to show all these great things about all the great things we're able to accomplish. And yeah, on the positive side, it showed that programs like ours, like the the ones me and some of the other brothers here run, do great things as far as helping men be prepared, as far as helping men kind of be self-aware, and helping guys be better parents and better just have better capacities and better tools. But the other side of the study showed that it didn't necessarily translate to better outcomes for those children if, for whatever reason, mom and dad weren't able to figure out those rifts that they had, and why they weren't able to kind of co-parent or having access to the children because of something that happened 15 years ago, and the pain and the hurt that's there, and just not. So for me, I really feel that, this is the evolution of fatherhood programming. Like, it's like, if we're serious about helping men and helping families, I mean, like I said, it's Umoja. So just unity, like bringing families back together and bringing people back together who actually have the most stake in these babies. I think a lot of times what unintentionally happens a lot of times with a lot of our fatherhood programs, we talked about this in this group, but sometimes what unintentionally happens is, oh God, we're going to come over here, we're going to help you, get this job, we're going to help you get these resources, and we're going to save you from that big bad woman who's been beating you down with the child support all these years. But the reality of it is, it takes two, and we have to figure out a way to make get folks out of that adversarial stage if we can. So the presence in fatherhood, and Charles talked about the and Charles was actually one of my, he's an adjunct, he was actually one of my professors once upon a time. So just like, I just know he's really serious and he's really good at this, conflict resolution and disputes and helping folks just get some of that stuff out of the courtroom. And that's what I want to see for our community. So I'm here for it.
Great. Thank you, Terron. And we've got Dr. Rogers on the line, and Dr. Rogers can't be on camera. So he's having some troubles with his camera. So he's just going to be speaking and we'll listen. Dr. Rogers, take it away.
Thank you so much, Brother Byron. My name is William Rogers, and I currently live here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I have spent about 30 years in education. I taught at the University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Department of Anthropology, taught history. And I've also been a very active hands-on participant of our community. I was a part of an organization here called 100 Black Men that were working with dads and fathers. That's where I met some real great guys who were doing some of the programming. I think Brother Edwards knows Terrence Ray very good, and Terrence and I met through that initiative, and we did some work. But I'm currently the executive director of an organization called the Black Reality Think Tank. We've been around, we've been working for about 20 years, doing various projects. Right now, we have a radio podcast that we do, where we have a chance to bring people to the table and talk about family, history, and different things that impact our community, mothers, children, and attempt to try to interject ideas that can help in terms of agenda building. and empowering our community. And I really have enjoyed doing that. We will continue to do that. Also, very clearly, I've always had an interest in empowering fathers. I've had it from a personal reason, being a dad myself, and a granddad, and a great granddad, and a great great granddad, and watching my daughters struggling in many cases with their children to get the fathers to do what they needed to do, and not have to come get money from me, but get it from their dads as well, who they're supposed to do that with. But nevertheless, but I mean, it's more to it than just that. And so I've always wanted to work with groups where we could deal with particularly, and even now, you know, maybe if you'd have said this 10, 15 years ago, we'd say we're starting with dads in their 20s and 30s. No, I'm talking 15, 16, getting some of those dads to understand what they have done and what that means now to be a dad of a child that you have just brought onto the planet. And so that's what I'm so excited about this group. Brother Charles Robinson introduced me to this as well.
Thank you, Dr. Rogers. You bring up a few points. One is that you're an elder, and you said great grandfather. So that's, you know, we have an intergenerational piece here. Terron is different than most of us. He's still in the raising family and got 5 kids, and they're ranging, you know, from 20s down to the low numbers like 6 or 7. So he's in the midst of that, and we've all gone through that and understand what that challenge is. And also Dr. Rogers brought up elders, and we're going to be doing a course with this group called Being an Elder, just inquiring into what it is to be an elder. And that information will be on the website, but we're also going to be talking to Clifton McDonald, who is from London. So that'll be our international virtual collaboration. We're going to close the segment out. And I just wanted to say that Prescencing Fatherhood currently has 2 components. One is sharing with peers in the weekly group with these gentlemen, and there are other gentlemen who are from other parts of the country who are with us as well. The other is offering periodic workshops for young fathers or young men to get connected to resources that support them in being present in their children's lives. So gentlemen, I just want to say thank you again for being here and being a part of this event. And hopefully we'll get some more people to participate with us, but I think it's a great opportunity, and I'll just say Habaragani, and may you enjoy the rest of your Kwanzaa. We're here with Robbin Randolph, and she's going to talk with us about I've decided to live 120 years. But first, we wanted to get some background. I met Robbin in 1992 at the International Black Summit, where she was one of the senior facilitators, and have been knowing her ever since then. Since moving to California, I've gotten to know her better through us working together with her work with the county. So Robbin, thank you for being here. And could you just tell us a little bit about your background?
Well, professionally, I've worked with local government. I started my career with the city of Compton. I've worked with the city of Sacramento, city and county of Sacramento. I've worked in a number of nonprofits. And I currently am working with LA County Department of Public Health. It's a contract position, but it's doing something I really care about. And I'm part of something called the Mobile Vaccine Team. And what we do is schedule teams of vaccinators to go all over LA County and provide COVID-19 vaccines in areas of the county where people really need the vaccines. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm still working full time.
Great. You want to tell us a little bit about your work with the summit, the International Black Summit?
Yeah. The way I got to the summit was I started with the EST training back in 1977. It was actually a work project where we had several people from the city of Compton do the EST training. And from there, we got real excited with the possibility of having more Black people do this transformational work. And from there, it led us to the summit, the Black Summit in 1991. And in those days, to be in the International Black Summit, you had to be a graduate of the Landmark Forum. So that's how we started. But as the summit evolved, we did away with the prerequisite, and now the International Black Summit is open to anyone. As you said, I was one of the original 5 facilitators for the summit. And the thing that I so loved about the summit was it was an opportunity to bring together transformation and spirituality, not religion, but a more spiritual perspective to life. And as a facilitator, I really learned the value of being able to listen to what life was giving me, to what spirit, not just spirit out there, but also my own spirit was telling me.
Hmm. Great, thank you. Now I want you to tell me a little bit about where you are in your career in reference to the book and retirement and just this aspect of your life.
Well, you know, I think I can't remember when you, Byron, told me about the book, but I was at least 69, contemplating what it would be to turn 70. And I wasn't real excited about it. For the first time, I was thinking, oh my goodness, I'm approaching the last quarter of my life, or maybe even less. And you know, I was thinking about it and trying to process it. And you told me about this book called I've Decided to Live 100 to be 120. And I thought, what? So I think the same day you told me about it, I went to my Kindle and I downloaded the book and started reading it. And it literally changed my whole perspective on myself and my age and my future. Because instead of looking for maybe, if I was lucky, 20 more years, you know, to like 90, I saw that I had potentially 50 more years.
Wow.
So that was really exciting. And because there's, you know, I don't feel old. You know, I mean, I have a number of years. I turned 70 this year. So I have experienced that many years, but I don't feel it. And, you know, besides a couple of aches and pains, but, you know, mentally, I definitely don't feel it. And so it opened up this huge possibility. Like, what am I going to do next if I've got 50 more years? And so one of the things that was real important to me and had been for a number of years, I've been divorced, I think 25 or more years, and I really wanted to be in a good relationship. And I hadn't gotten into one yet. And, you know, here I was approaching 70, and it seemed like, oh my God, you know, 70, you'll never find anybody. But the truth is, I met somebody this very year. And, you know, we have a wonderful relationship. The other thing about this age and trying to, you know, find a relationship was I didn't want to be with somebody that had given up on life. You know, a lot of people in their 60s or so just kind of shut down. And I thought, oh, I guess that means I'm going to have to find somebody younger. And the truth is, the guy that I ended up with is actually 7 years older than I am. But we both are looking at life like, hey, what's next? What's possible? So it's really exciting. So I am not shutting down, opening up even more. And this book is just a wonderful blueprint for how to create a life of possibility as you get older. So yeah, so I'm working full time now. I work 40 hours a week, and my goal is not so much to retire, but it's to not have to work 40 hours a week. It's to be able to have more flexibility. I like to work, but I'm not a real 8 to 5 kind of person. So that's what I'm looking at, is how can I work this out?
Well, I think you're a prime example for what we're trying to promote, you know, being well and vital as we mature, because there's so much for mature people to contribute. And again, I'm sort of anti this old and over the hill philosophy, but really looking to see what we can create as a community to support each other in a lifestyle that's about creation for the mature parts of our lives. So I just want to say to you, thank you so much for doing the interview. I really appreciate it. And it'll be posted on the first day of Kwanzaa on our YouTube channel, and I'll be in touch with you about that. Okay.
Thank you so much. And as always, thank you again for introducing me to the book and to the concept. I really appreciate it.
All right. You have a great one, Bill Davis. And it's so great to have you joining our 7 days of celebrating collectives during Kwanzaa. And on this segment, I've decided to live 120 years. So I just wanted to ask you, to tell us a little bit about your background. I want people to know. And Bill, so Bill, tell us a little bit about your career.
Absolutely. First off, thank you so much, Byron. Well, now I'm retired, and I'm actually twice retired. I retired from a corporate career in telecommunications back in 2000. And then I started a business coaching and training business that I participated in for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I just recently closed that last year.
Mm-hmm.
And stage of retirement. But I've worked as a manager in sales, marketing, human resources in my corporate career, and then focused primarily with small business owners in my own business.
Great. So how long have you been retired?
Well, this time I've been retired about a year and 9 months. I retired in April of 2020.
Okay.
Quickly.
Okay.
And since then, I've been, most of my time has been involved in scouting. I'm a volunteer in scouting and in fact lead our scouting council in this area. And I've mentored for SCORE, which is an organization of retired corporate and small business owners that mentor people coming into business. And I've been playing as much golf as I possibly can.
Oh yeah, you and golf. Well, so you have read the book, and I think I actually was the one who turned you on to the book. I've decided to live 120 years. And I just wanted to get your feedback because you will be facilitating the course that we're offering through A Place to Be. I think it's really an incredible book. And I just wanted to hear about what your experience was as a newly retired person, and what you found valuable in the book.
Well, I will tell you, I did find it valuable. I also found it somewhat confronting, which is why I really am so interested in it and engaged by it. You know, for so many years, when I was in corporate and had my own business, there was always something for me to focus on for purpose, let's say, and to guide me. And those things come and they go. And having been recently retired, when you introduced the book to me, I was in the throes, if you would, of how do I have the rest of my life be purposeful? And I'll be honest, I somewhat was working from a perspective that at some level I was very much on the backside of my life. And what the book did for me is it clearly lays out a way to live life without an experience of waiting, or I'll just say it, for the end to come. And how to have all of your life have meaning and be a contribution. And how you, in my, the way I looked at it, how you replace many of the goals and the drive that career provides, be it a corporate career, a career owning one's own business, etc. And it had me conclude I could come to the end of my life on the way up. That's the way I'll say it. As opposed to having an experience of being on the way down.
No, I hear you. I think that, many people, at least what I have thought in a part of what A Place to Be is about, and is that there's this philosophy of being young or over the hill, and I really don't buy that. And so the book, because I'm just beginning at 62. I'm like just getting started here. And I think that, you know, we have as seniors or elders or older people, mature people, we have a lot to offer and we have a lot of life to live. And I want to live that in a vital way. And so I think the book really provided a framework for me to how to think about that. And it was a real great discovery. So
yeah,
go ahead.
I was going to say, I really agree with that, because the things that I'm most involved in, other than golf, one of the challenges is that there's a time when appropriately, it's the most helpful thing you can do is step aside. But you can step aside from one thing and move into how you fulfill your purpose, stepping into other things. And that's what the book really gave me access to. You know, that what the current expression of fulfilling on my purpose may be doesn't have to be the only expression. And so, for example, in my scouting work that I do, I've made a decision that when I reach 75, I'm 71 now, I will probably step aside from active participation to make room for new ideas, new perspectives, etc. But that doesn't have to be the end of my pursuit and my purpose that I'm now expressing through my participation in scouting.
Well, it sounds like you have a lot of life to live going forward. And,
Sure hope so.
And I really do appreciate you spending the time with us. I think it's a great contribution for people to hear that there's another possibility in living after retirement, not just going downhill and, you know, waiting to die, but really actually becoming even more vital in doing those things that you want to do. But I think the book, what it really helps with is thinking about that and structuring it such that you get what you want. So thank you, Bill Davis, and we will see you very soon.
Very good. I'm actually looking forward to doing the facilitation, because I believe that's where really I will learn and have an opportunity to dwell in the pursuit of living to be 120. So thank you very much for the opportunity, Byron.
You're welcome. Thank you. Next up on our program, we have two guests here from London, and we have Clifton and Eli, and they're going to tell us about understanding eldership. And actually, Clifton is going to be on the program, the Kwanzaa program, as a collective leader. Clifton and I got to do the Bloom course together a couple months ago, so we've gotten to engage with each other. And Eli has participated too in the Awul course, and we've talked individually. But I'm really intrigued by your course that you're offering, your workshop that's called Understanding Eldership, because I've become a senior, even though I still don't recognize that. I am a senior, and I think, you know, we do have a role to play in the community and in the community and in the world. And, you know, sometimes we are treated like we're old and over the hill. I don't believe that. And, you know, a lot of what I would like to promote inside of A Place to Be is about us being vital and as we age and mature and living well. And I think with that, we often say that the millennials or the young people, you know, those young people are the problem. We need to get to them and do that. But often I think we can be the problem, having those perspectives and not being able to really just give them the freedom to be. But I think this intergenerational thing, there's a whole lot of possibility there if we can come together and resolve that. So tell me about the Understanding Eldership Workshop. What's it about and what's your objective?
Understanding Eldership is a great experience. And what it does, it begins to put in perspective our community, our history, the way in which people within the community go through a specific way of maintaining the community. Now what that's saying is that at each stage of your life, there is a role and a responsibility and a position. And that certainly when we talk about eldership, that is and has been a serious, critical position in terms of stabilizing community. And it also, not just stabilizing community, but what it does do, it says that at this point in your life, there are things that you must or are required to do for others. That's part of that rites of passage. And I think Clifton might be talking about something a little bit later on, but certainly for the rites of passage, we're talking about how people within this, within the community have a role to play for others. So an example of an elder, when you see, if throughout organizations and throughout nations, you'll find that elders are the ones that are there to be part of the family. They're part of the structures that ensure that parts of the community are protected. But also, one of the most powerful things is that elders embody history. They embody a way of understanding what has gone before, and they have a way of ensuring that those who are there begin to understand what the history is. Understanding eldership is not just talking about our role and our responsibility, but our critical thinking about who we are at this time. So as elders, we are living in a structure that makes it challenging to think of ourselves as having power and responsibility. And one of the things that this experience does, it allows those people who go through the experience to emerge as powerful beings.
And I suppose it starts from what Eli was saying, what we recognize, and I think in some ways, this is a reflection of its time, right? So the quote says, when an old man dies, a library burns to the ground. And for me, I think it's not just an old man. I think it's, old man or woman. Is that it became really apparent when I became an elder and realized that when my mum and dad passed, that some of the stories that my parents had shared, if they were not held and retained, they will be lost. So with that said, understanding an eldership workshop is focused on fostering and understanding what it is to be an elder. All right, it will involve reflection and cultural discussion, and you will explore storytelling and heritage to discover how we understand our stories as elders. And then the purpose and our objective is to create a space where stories, experiences, and reflection can be listened to and flow in a caring, respectful, and honoring way. We're going to be using a whole range of techniques. I mean, there's going to be meditation, there's going to be just being in silence, what that brings up. It'd be people sharing their experience, stories and reflections on what it was being an adult. Before we even get to being an elder, what was your experience of being an adult? And then we explore about, what it means to be an elder in your family, right? In your community. Of course, what Eli was saying earlier about what does it mean to be an elder, right? Wherever we find ourselves. Right, in the 21st century.
I wanted to ask you about logistics though. How many sessions? How long are the sessions?
We've done it to 6 sessions.
Okay.
Yeah, and 2 hours. I mean,
so 12 hours in total.
Yeah, 12 hours in total.
I'm really excited about the opportunity of us as African Americans and even Africans, because this project is about global collaboration, us taking on the course together. We've talked about You've talked with the group Prescencing Fatherhood, and we're planning to be on that, but we wanted to invite the general public to take the course with us. Americans, Europeans, Africans. Again, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And we look forward to more.
Yeah.
Have a great night.
Thank you. All right, you take care, Byron.